What is going on, guys? It's the Superfans Sports Spiel. I'm with my boy Nick. Nick, say what's up.
It's good, boys.
My name's Luke, and today we are joined by Dan Schmuldt. Dan, what's up, man?
How's it going, boys?
I mean, it's going pretty good. We decided to have Dan on today to talk about the Darvish trade that went down yesterday. Cubs received Zach Davies and 4 prospects for Darvish and Victor Caratini. I mean, let's hop right into this. Dan, you give your thoughts.
Oh boy, I know you guys got dissenting views here. I don't totally love this. Coming trading a second place Cy Young winner for a third starter or end of the rotation starter and 4 teenagers essentially. All offseason kind of ownership's been preaching to the good Cubs fans and everybody else that they're going through retooling and not rebuilding. And this is not necessarily a sign of rebuilding completely, but more or less a salary dump for sure. Something that doesn't really look like, I would say, retooling in the fact that you got Davies back for a year, who they're definitely just going to try to flip at the deadline in July. And then 4 prospects who have played like 70 combined innings above rookie ball. 2 of them haven't even played any pro ball. Granted, you got 2 or 3 shortstops who you can probably move around anywhere. So that's, great. But I mean, I think I've seen people saying it all over Twitter and stuff. It's looking like they got an end of the rotation pitcher and 4 lottery tickets. And that's kind of all you can really say of the prospect right now. I don't think you could say these guys are bona fide studs or like total, like gonna make it. It's tough to say that, but yeah, like I said, I think end of rotation pitcher, someone they're gonna flip, and then 4 prospects. But I think it really comes down to like what they're gonna do with Wilson Contreras here, and then other players. Like the moves over the next month are really gonna dictate what direction that they're going this offseason.
Yeah, now there's as of today, there's a bunch of rumors going around that Cubs are shopping Wilson Contreras. I mean, this is everything is signaling towards a rebuild, and honestly, I'm not even really that upset with it. I think if there is a time to rebuild, I think it's now. Just because the Padres, the Braves, the Dodgers, the Cubs have just no shot. I mean, I still think we will win this NL Central because the NL Central is pretty bad. If not, the Cardinals will win it. But I don't think we have a chance to compete with those other teams in the playoffs.
I'm half and half on that. Where it's like, yeah, let's go full rebuild mode. Let's not. But I mean, like the Cubs, after especially with like what Theo said coming in and what ownership's been preaching for the last 5-6 years since like 2012, essentially when Theo was brought in, is like they're never going to have to go through a big rebuild again. It should be stable in the fact where they're just going to have to retool every now and then and like replenish the farm and take a year off. And like I hope that's what Jed's kind of moving towards here with this kind of deal and like everything else. But like I said, dude, this is the fucking Cubs. Sorry, I swear a lot. That's not cool, but like it's the Cubs, man. They're the 3rd biggest market in the world in Chicago. They're the most profitable team. They could sell blank white T-shirts and people are going to buy them. People are going to show up to the Wrigley Field and sell it out regardless. They've been making the most money among franchises for like ever, like we know. And like pre-COVID, obviously, COVID kind of hurt their costs a little bit, but if they're not using that Darvish money to kind of re-up at the major league level and make it somewhat competitive, so say using that 55 mil or whatever they got left over to go sign some people to fill some holes at the big league level, like that's where I kind of have problems with it. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how we'll use that money. I kind of, it's always been kind of with the renovations that we did, everyone's just kind of saying like, how much is that costing us? Because there's rumors that we were going over budget, and Jay Hayes' contract, obviously. So that's why the Cubs have been reluctant to spend any money.
But I know. I mean, I've seen things from like Cap and everything that the Cubs are $1 billion, the whole $1 billion in debt, which like, dude, it's we didn't ask for a renovation of Wrigleyville or a hotel across the street.
Yeah, the hotel was definitely excessive.
Yeah. I saw some tweet that was like from John Greenberg, right to the Athletic. He was like, I asked Tom not to make the boutique hotel gold plated, but
yeah,
it's neither here or there. But I mean, they've said they're going to do their best to put a World Series product in the field every year, and this is them. It looks like taking a step back, and like I think that kind of goes back to why Theo left a year early. Like I think he saw the cards on the table. He was like, I know what's going to be going down here. I'm not going to have the resources to kind of do what I want, which he was handcuffed from the beginning. We know now, but yeah, like I said, man, it kind of comes down to what they're going to do with Wilson, what they're going to do with Chris Bryant. It looks like they're going to be extending Baez and Rizzo. They should be at least. But I think when we see if they move Wilson, what they get back for him is really going to signify what the shakedown's going to be for 2021 and like 2022, 2023. Because these guys they got back for Darvish ain't sniffing the big leagues till 23 at least, and like who even knows what's going to be like, what they're going to be like by then.
Yeah, for sure. I think if KB's just got to go, I mean, I think he's got the least left in the tank for us. And I think if he has any value, we should get any sort of prospects we can. Contreras, I mean, you would love to hang on to him because obviously, as a Cubs fan, watching him from his debut till now, everyone's kind of fallen in love with him. So it's hard to let go of him. But I mean, if there's value and we're not looking to be great this year, I say send him off.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting 2020, obviously, and then like 2021, the division's dog. We all know that. Like they could win it with whatever they run out there now, but yeah, man, it comes down to what they can get for who. Chris Bryant, like you said, probably. If that's what they got back for you, Darvish, man, like I can't imagine what they're getting back for Chris Bryant or what they're asking because like they took the best offer they could get for you, Darvish, I would assume, and that's what they got. And like that was definitely something from ownership where Tom Ricketts was like, we need to move this contract, and then like that's not every other team in the league knows that that's like how it's going to go, right? So they're not necessarily giving up their best prospects, biting at the. They know the Cubs have to move them, so they're not giving up like all that they can. Um, like I said, it just makes me mad that they're kind of cutting profit or they're cutting costs right now when they're the goddamn Chicago Cubs, bro. Like, no reason.
Yeah, it's upsetting when you see the Dodgers literally get whoever they want, and then the Cubs are just over here like cutting costs.
That's what we were more or less promised in 2012 when Theo came in. Like, okay, we're gonna become the Yankees of the NL or the Central, be it, but looking like a little bit different of a plan.
Yeah, I mean, even last year, you were hoping we could sign at least something better than Jason Kipnis and Steven Souza, but that's what we got.
Yep. Oh boy, that brings me to another funny point, dude. They haven't signed a position player of like note for a multi-year deal since Jason Hayward. I mean, the last one was Daniel Descalso on like a 3-year deal, which that went fucking great, right?
Yeah, he is. he he had like that April through May of his first season where he's actually like decent, and then ever since he's been the worst MLB hitter.
Terrible.
Nick, you're a White Sox fan. What are your thoughts on the trade being an outsider?
I kind of feel like you either got to go for the rebuild and get rid of all your assets now or spend money. And I feel like you're kind of going in the direction where you want to rebuild. And it's kind of the perfect time, like you said, with the Padres and Dodgers and the Braves and even the Mets with Steve Cohen, they're going to be spending money. It's kind of the time to rebuild. And maybe in 4 years, you go at it with a bunch of these young guys. Maybe one of these guys from the Yu Darvish trade hits.
Yeah.
Hopefully two. And you go at it. Hopefully you'll have money to spend then because you won't be giving all these huge contracts out. But I feel like you got to either go for it with the rebuild or maybe you traded Darvish just to get rid of money and you spend in the offseason. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting because like it doesn't look like a rebuild type of trade with the guys they got back because normally those are rebuild trades bring you guys in the higher levels of your minors who are like not for sure hits, but like are more than likely going to hit. Like look at when they first started rebuilding and they went and got Anthony Rizzo. Like he was already in the minor league or he was already up for the Padres and like I think up for the Cubs right away. The other example, I'm blanking on it. There's another guy, I forgot who it was. Oh, Jake Arrieta. When they went and got Jake Arrieta, he was already major league ready. He's had to develop alongside of it. Like this isn't a rebuild if they're aiming for like 2023, 2024. Like there's still assets that you should be getting at the major league level. Like going back to the Yu Darvish trade, man, like I was seeing Cronenworth and Paddock floated a lot, and I was very happy with where it was going. I knew we had to get rid of Darvish, and I understand why they did it, and like the fact that that's their biggest trade chip all of like the whole offseason. He's just came off of pretty much a Cy Young season, but seeing names like Cronenworth and Paddock, and then I mean Gore got thrown in there, but we knew Mackenzie Gore wasn't fucking coming anywhere near the Cubs. But like Cronenworth, not getting back Cronenworth or Paddock and just getting Zach Davies at the big league level is what I think most people are kind of up in arms about. It's like we just traded Yu Darvish, who's like a fan favorite here, as you guys know, like he's all over Twitter and everything. For like I said, four lottery ticket prospects who like hopefully you scratch it off and it's $1 million, but it could be 5 cents. I mean, there are 3 international signings too, and 1 high school signing. Like you see
Yeah.
number ones from Stanford, Mark Appel from the Astros a couple years back. Dude doesn't even play baseball anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
And then you look at what the Rays got in the Blake Snell trade. They got Patino, who's already been up for the short 2020 season. Francisco Mejia, who's been pretty bad, but at least he's a prospect and he's been in the majors. Cole Wilcox, who was just drafted. Obviously, he's a project. And then they had the catcher. I forget what his name is, but he's still like a top prospect in their organization. So, I mean, obviously, I think Snell does have more value just because he's a little bit more. He's a little younger, more potential. Darvish is kind of approaching the end of his career, but yeah, you obviously would have been much more sexy just to get a haul like that instead of what we got.
I mean, I agree with like the Snell deal is definitely better, but I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier, where it's like this was definitely a mandate from the front or the ownership to be like, we have to move this contract and we have to do it soon. And like that's just the other teams in the league know about that. Like they're not oblivious to that fact. And it's just like they know the Cubs had to move him.
Yeah.
How little can they give up to get him?
Exactly.
And it becomes like it doesn't become like who has the best offer at that point. Well, it does, but you know, it's in a different sense of it. Like the offer is going to be who could give up the most of their worst shit to get you Darvish, and it was the Padres. And we got Zach Davies. Jesus Christ. We got 3 Kyle Hendricks on the staff, dude. We got 3 dudes who throw like 10 miles an hour. It's lovely.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it was crazy that Darvish didn't even know the trade like happened. I think Contreras too. I think like they were texting or something.
Caratini, yeah. Dude,
yeah.
fuck. That's a whole other issue, bro. Like they when Theo came in, everyone was like praising him for like getting to know guys, getting to know their families, like being super upfront with them. And then like the first move Jed pulls off, like Darvish finds out via Twitter, bro. I don't know how much I totally buy that, but it's if it's the truth, man, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't. It's definitely not the best thing to hear about, especially that being Jed's first move. But also, I watched Fuzzy's video on the reaction that he had, and he said that Kenta Maeda had the same experience happen when he was traded from the Dodgers to the Twins. So maybe it's something with the guys being overseas, and I don't know, but that I guess it's happened before.
Bro, I'd imagine the news just kind of broke super quick. They got out of hand and leaked all over the place. I mean, people have sources all over the place. I don't know if you guys followed Frederick on Twitter at all, the Dom, but he's got sources in the front office all the time. Like I'm sure names came up and then it's popped all over Twitter, and Darvish started seeing it, and then official reports that weren't official. I mean, it's still not official. The Cubs haven't announced it yet, but oh boy, it's a shitstorm.
I was actually going to mention Dom because I have his post note or his Twitter notifications on, and I saw that he retweeted you, and then after that,
dude, I love that guy.
Yeah, he retweeted me right after that, so it was just kind of funny.
That dude's the best. I don't know if you've listened to his like he had 35 minutes sitting in his car talking about all this, but very interesting listen if you haven't. That guy's the man.
Yeah, I love Dom. His like the community he has is just it's like hilarious. Just a bunch of Cubs fans like the terminology and the vocabulary they use.
It's so different. I think he used to do stuff with Barstool back in the day. I remember following him when he had like 2,000 followers. Now, oh man, times have changed. But
yeah,
fucking love that dude. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to look at like I wrote some shit down for this of like other things to talk about here, but like the biggest thing that sticks out to me is just these 4 guys who are like. I mean, I saw your video on them. Going nuts, being like, these are 4 can't miss prospects, gonna be the best players in 2024. And I'm like, no shot, dude.
I mean, I was playing it up a little bit, but
I know.
I do like the potential. You gotta love the potential. Reginald Prasado. Yeah. I mean, 17 years old, so obviously it's very long way from him being ready for the big leagues. But I mean, Fangraphs already has him above Ed Howard in our farm system, which, I mean, it's obviously a lottery ticket, as you said. But other than the guys we got, and then like our top 5, our farm system is pretty bad. So I think it's good that we're building that up now, and then instead of in a few years down the road just saying like, oh shit, we got absolutely nothing in the farm system.
If the thing is, if they go and trade Contreras for a similar deal where they're getting guys who are haven't seen like anything above A ball, I think that's when you get a little bit more worried that there's going to be more than 2 gap years here, and they're really shooting for like a 2025 window. Whereas if they took a year off to suck, be it 2021, like took a step back, a little bit more comfortable with that. Like I said, like if they need a year to reset and take a step back after Theo moving over to Jet, totally cool. But the Darvish deal just looks like they're gonna go full on, like we're tearing this shit down for 2 years, we're bringing it back, like the Cubs, like they did in 2020 or 2012, before like 2015, where it took a couple of years. But like, I don't know, man. Something in me tells me that that ain't gonna happen completely. That like if they do trade Wilson or KB, they're gonna get guys who are closer to the league, just so they can compete in 2021. I mean, my biggest thing with it is like I said, at the open of this, ownership's been preaching that it's a retool, not a rebuild, and they're not tearing anything down all off season since Theo walked out the door. And if that's actually the case, and they're going to stick to their word, then they're going to use that Darvish money and whatever Contreras deal they have to kind of reshape what the team looks like at the major league level. Be it a step back from what it was last year, they could still win the division and still be competitive. Will they get fucked in the playoffs? I don't know, dude. The Marlins swept the Cubs in the playoffs and then got their asses swept. Anything can happen in October, but interesting shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably gonna be a rough year, probably gonna be a rough few years, but I mean, hopefully by 2023, 2024, we're looking like the White Sox or even the Padres, and we're just like, you know what? It all paid off. It all worked.
Looking like the White Sox. That hurts me to
Yeah, I mean,
say.
that you don't really say stuff like that often till
I
now.
know,
But
dude. I saw somebody on Twitter being like, dude, he said some shit that was like signed Big Brother White Sox. I'm like, that is the least true shit. But today it hurts.
yeah. So I mean, the Padres. Let's talk about the Padres a little bit. They got their rotations now: Snell, Darvish, Paddock, Clevenger, Gore, Lamet. Did I miss someone? I don't know, but it's stacked.
You got Lucchesi. There's a bunch of like
Yeah,
fringe guys on the fifth there. Yeah.
I mean, who's coming out of that division? Dodgers or Padres?
Motherfuck, dude, that's tough. I think it depends on what the Dodgers do the rest of the offseason. If they could add to their starting pitching, I think one guy maybe. And then I know Justin Turner's on the block, or he's not on the block. He's free agent still. If they make a deal with him, I imagine they would. I still gotta go Dodgers. I really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Dodgers too. But I feel like the Dodgers fans are kind of playing this off. But I mean, they deep down, they definitely have to be worried.
Oh yeah. You gotta be, dude. I mean, the Padres gave him a run for it last year, especially in the postseason too. But I think being the Dodgers and being in the position a lot of the time already, right? You're gonna be totally fine. I wouldn't be totally worried about it. They got fucking Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger. Like, look at the lineups back to back. I mean, both got stacked lineups. And I think there's a couple more guys on the Padres side that are a little more fringe. Like, you know what you're getting out of Bellinger. You know what you're getting out of Mookie Betts. You know what you're getting out of Max Muncy. Will Smith. You can go down the line for Dodgers. Then you look at the
Seager's really underrated too.
Corey Seager. Exactly. You go down the list, and there's a ton of guys. And then you look at the Padres, and obviously Tatis was electric last year, but that was kind of his first year breaking out like that. Can he repeat? Our pitcher's going to adjust to him. Chris Bryant was going balls for the wall 2015, 2016, same timeline as Tatis, kind of, who came up last year or 2 years ago. Is he going to regress? Our pitcher's going to adjust to him. That's what they did with Chris Bryant, for example. Manny Machado. I mean, Eric Hosmer's getting old. He had a good year, but who fucking knows? I think there's more question marks in the Padres lineup. I mean, I can't say this guy's first name for shit. The guy they signed from Korea yesterday.
Ha-Seong Kim.
Ha-Seong Kim. Yeah, that's a big question mark too coming in. Like, is he going to adjust to big league pitching? Can he be as good as he was? I mean, he's 25 years old, so he can adjust. But if that's who they're plugging in at second base every day, pushing Cronenworth to the outfield, who knows what that does to his bat. Again, Cronenworth's coming into his second year in the league. There's more, like I said, there's more question marks for the Padres here than there are for the Dodgers. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at Tommy Pham, Trent Grisham, Will Myers, Austin Nola, like Jake Cronenworth, yeah, definitely guys you just don't know. It could be great, could be bad.
Yeah.
And then pretty much what you said, you look at the Dodgers lineup and you know they're going to be solid. I think the only thing that could possibly come back to screw the Dodgers is World Series, World Series, what's it called?
Hangover,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the 2020 World Series, it counted, but I feel like it didn't fucking count for them. Want to win another one?
Yeah, they're for sure. They're looking for. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just like the Cubs after they won 2016. We were all like, yep, 2017, 2018, 2019, it's all ours.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we want to get back to the Cubs, it's a whole other problem with them developing talent at the big league level. But I think the Dodgers have more consistent bats across the board too. I mean, look at them like October from 2015 to 2020. Like their guys aren't really falling off. Mookie Betts is consistent as shit. Like they don't have those Javi Baez types where they could click for a year and just be absolute dog for the next,
Yeah, that's really the difference. The Cubs just had. We had Bryant, Rizzo. I mean, Contreras was up, but he wasn't really much of an impact. Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez, who were just they were our guys, and from there on, we didn't really build more off of them, and they started to fall off. And
yeah. I mean, like the plan for the Cubs, if we want to bring it back that way, like their plan from the beginning of the whole thing was develop hitting and then buy pitching, which they did. And they just couldn't develop hitting at the big league level. I mean, you look at Chris Bryant and Javier Baez and Addison Russell back in the day, and well, Schwarber, Ian Happ's
Almora.
kind of taking this step now. Almora, all guys who came up and had pretty good success, and then pitchers were just like, oh, we could throw Chris Bryant inside fastballs. He's not going to hit them. I mean, they never adjusted to it. Baseball's a hard fucking game. I'll give it to him. I couldn't hit an inside fastball, but it's your job. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I just hope that in a few years we look back at all this and we just say, you know what, things turned out just fine.
Oh yeah. Hopefully one of these guys click. That'd be nice, but we'll see, man. There's a lot of 18-year-olds in the system from Panama who never get there. You don't never even hear of them. So
Yeah. All right. I mean, you guys got anything else to say?
last thing I'll say, if you're looking for a Wilson Contreras trade, you guys got any place you think he's going?
Honestly, I haven't really looked into it. I think maybe the Phillies, like they need someone to fill for JT Realmuto's spot.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at every team that's looked at a catcher. I have it written down what I have. Just Philadelphia, Anaheim, Houston, Toronto, New York Yankees, Cardinals, which ain't happening, then the Nationals. But who knows, man? That'll be the next one to drop probably.
Yeah,
Maybe
man.
if a team doesn't get Real Mewtwo, they might call the Cubs up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you got to kind of bank on. Do you want to pay $100 million for a catcher, or you want Wilson Contreras for one of your top 5 prospects, please? That's what I'll take.
We got the project investment guys, and in the Darvish trade for Contreras, let's get a proven.
Replenish the system at the top. Give me some fucking pitchers because we have no prospect arms. They're looking rough.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of need to get back. If they're rebuilding, that's what they got to do.
Yeah, the hitting, the offense in the farm system looks pretty all right. It's just there's almost no pitching besides Braylon Marquez, who he can throw a 103-mile-per-hour fastball, but can he find the strike zone?
We will see if he slots into the 5th spot this year of the rotation, because who knows what we got. Yeah. That's the good part. We might get some young guys some looks.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting just to sit back and just see what we got. Probably get our asses kicked, but
yeah. They'll win 2021 still. There's not too much of a threat.
All right, well, I think this is a good time to wrap it up. Thank you so much, Dan, for joining.
Thank you.
Dan, you want to plug your stuff real quick?
Oh yeah, if you want to follow me anywhere, it's just at Dan Schmuldt. You can find me on TikTok or Twitter, Instagram, not really, Twitch mostly every night, streaming MLB The Show, getting fucking stupid mad at that game. Yeah, just go follow my TikTok. For some reason TikTok hates me, so whatever. We
need to get Dan to 10K. He's been trying to get to 10K for too long.
The app hates me, bro. I swear to God.
You've been at like 5K, 7K for since we started.
Dude, I run multiple accounts and I'll post shit where I get 3 likes on my other account and it'll have like 1,000 views. And then on my baseball one, the main one, I'll get 50 likes and it'll have like 10 views. And I'm like, why does TikTok hate me so much? But it is what it is.
Yeah, the algorithm can be
brutal.
It's literally like 1 week we'll try and post something on TikTok and it'll get like all week long, just nothing. The next week, everything we post, no matter what it is, it just does good.
I just think I get shadow banned too much for being too crazy in the app, but it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Dan Schmuldt. Thank you, Dan, once again. Next podcast, I think we're going to have Pentelis Zidiotis. I don't even know how to say his last name yet. We've been trying to get him on. He's a Division I basketball player, so he's obviously really busy right now, but we're trying to get him on. Yeah, that was Superfan Sports Spiel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button, download the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and yeah, thank you guys.